Hello and welcome to What a Time to Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Walidify, also known as Waleed, or if you want it the other way around, I don't know. Here's one of my co-hosts, Fike, the real one. So Fike, how are
I'm
you
your
today?
only co-host, first of all, and just remember that.
I mean, we can always replace you.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, so I think both of us can be replaced because none of us are getting paid. So,
Yeah, but I have a better following than you. Anyway, right.
well, I don't have a following. So,
Anyway, so before we get into the actual topic of social media, I just want to know your opinion on social media, just as a whole, just a quick summary of what you think of it, and why you like it and why you don't like it.
social media sucks. I'm joking. I'm just joking. Look, like it's a platform, right? So depending on how you use it, depends on my opinion at the time. To me, the actual use of it, like it's I'm struggling to speak here, but what I'm trying to say is, depending on it being positive or negative, totally depends on how you use
Yeah.
it. It's just like real life. To me, social media amplifies real life.
Yeah.
So whatever opinions you have or whatever you want to project, you can use social media to get to more people, and that's a
For sure.
positive and a negative thing.
Yeah. I mean, from my side, I don't like social media, but I have to use social media for what I do, especially for the podcast. You have to be on social media. That's like one of the only ways that you can
For
get out
the
there.
Whatcast,
Podcast. Oh my god. But yeah, you have to be on social media nowadays to like promote, your like channels, followings, whatever you want to call it. But overall, I'm not a fan of social media. Like if I could delete all social media, I would, and I would just stick to basic news or whatever. Like I really don't.
why is
like,
it? Why are you not? Because to be honest with you, in a big way, I do agree with you. I just wanted you to clarify. Why is it that you're not a fan of social media? What about it sort of turns you off?
I mean, I joined the whole bandwagon. I mean, I only joined the bandwagon when I was in like end of year 9, start of year 10.
Mm.
And even then, I didn't care too much about it. But it's mainly just everyone's like, I don't. I follow a lot of good friends and I follow a lot of people I respect, but I feel like everything is always done for numbers, likes, or whatever. Um, Even people who don't post and just look at the content all day, like that is just draining on a person anyway, to just look at all that content all day, all these different avenues.
Yeah.
Yes, there's positives that like, okay, I can get, news from here, news from there, news from this country, that country, all these things. It's non-biased, it's biased, it's left, it's right,
It's everything at
it's
once.
everything all at once. And it takes such a toll on your mental health that like for me, I'm like, if I can like not be on it, I'd not be on it. But unfortunately I have to be on it.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, nowadays you sort of have to be in social media to even really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that active on my social media at all. I'm starting to be now, of course, with what I was about to say Whatcast, but yeah, for the WATTPOD. But to be honest with you, like I 100% am with you. Like, you sort of have to look at everything, but problem is when you start looking, you look at everything at once.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just hard to keep track, right?
Yeah,
It's just a lot of
100%.
things coming 100 miles per hour.
It's just like, I don't know. Even talking about social media for me is exhausting.
Yeah,
Thinking
no,
about
I
the
know what
concept
you
of
mean.
social media is like really exhausting. Like Twitter is like a no-go for me.
Yeah,
Twitter, zero chance. You would not see me on Twitter anymore. Liking, retweeting, whatever. Nah, mate, I'm done. Facebook I never use, so I don't have that.
yeah, I don't use Facebook at all.
Instagram I have, but I tend to use it less and less because people, nowadays, I mean, okay, it's good. Like we're doing all these protests, going for a good cause, human rights and stuff. But sometimes I just want to go on Instagram to look up funny videos.
Yeah,
And all I see on my Insta stories is this is happening here, this is happening there, injustice here, injustice there, injustice there. It's just like me, like how much more depressing can everything get?
I know you're coming from. It's, you know what it is, like when there's something going on in the world, you already get notified via, I don't know about you, but I've got the news app, so I always look through there. So when I'm on social media and it gets amplified again, I'm like,
exactly.
But yeah, my main post of Instagram is the memes. I send memes to other people, but the problem is once you, like you said, once you're there, it just comes out of nowhere, and then you can't help
for
but
me,
look.
it's like I try and do like follow the memes, but it's like even if you go on the discovery page, if there is genuine like proper political stuff going on, it'll be there, regardless.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you can't escape anything on social media.
I mean, do you like the fact that you're always informed? However, so that's one thing about social media is even when you don't proactively look,
Yeah.
it's going to give you that information regardless, so you can sort of keep up with what's going on
The thing
day
is,
to day.
the thing is, social media is good in the fact that you can get, many different concepts, many different ideas really quickly. But there's also the problem of many different concepts and ideas are cut to show what they want to show
Okay.
and not to show a full like thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get like a quote from someone famous and be like, we hate this group, but it's like, we only hate them because they're ruining these things, they're doing those things, like genuine bad things, right?
Taking our jobs. Taking our teeth.
But like that's what I mean. Like you get snippets of it, and it's just like, mate, that's not what's happening. Like in the Black Lives Matter movement,
Yeah.
right? People were like, so people who weren't going so much for Black Lives Matter, they were like, oh look, they're like trashing the place, they're like breaking the streets, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like because they're getting cut down bite-sized bits where it's
Yeah.
just that feed, whereas like the true feed is like it's people who are anti-Black Lives Matter causing those problems and
Yeah.
pinning it back onto them. So
Yeah.
it's like you can get the info, but it's not as trustworthy as you think.
Do you know what it reminds me of? This is going to sound really strange, but in WWE when people listen,
Yeah.
bear with me with this. But
Hold it right there. If you are watching the podcast right now on YouTube, then unfortunately I am interrupting it for you. We've been looking at the analytics, and only 69% of you are actually subscribed to the channel. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a like, and also check the link in the description for WATTPOD, the beautiful company powering our podcast. You can see more information. You can see the app that is coming out soon in about a month or two time, and get all the information, and even try and convince any of your local barbershops, beauty salons, or beauticians to sign up. So check the link in the description below, like and subscribe. And now let's get back to, I don't know, wherever we left off.
when there's like an event going on and
Yeah.
you have like the main two guys or the bad guy or the good guy, whatever
Okay.
it is, and they do all these interviews and they're really passionate. Of course, they're doing it as a way of promoting.
for sure, yeah.
But they're really passionate about what's going on, and you see the drama backstage, and then you see something else happening at the same
Yeah.
time, and everything's just because bearing in mind in a like an hour show back in the day, they have to fit all these concepts in.
Yeah,
They have to
yeah.
communicate something to build the storyline.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like at the similar of social media,
Yeah.
because I'll go on one page and I'll see one thing, and I'll go another page and I'll see another. And
Yeah.
what you said, Black Lives Matter was a big thing because people were saying, "Oh, look, they're throwing bricks at
Yeah.
random buildings," and then come to find out that these bricks were already there somehow before.
Yeah, exactly.
And people are saying, "Oh, they're
Eesh.
looting," but it comes out that the people who are not part of the protest are looting. It's
You've
just-
got like people saying like, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," people are looting, and then you got videos of Jake Paul looting instead. And I'm like, it's not correlating, is it? It's not.
But
it's
you know
not
what?
accurate.
You know what? That's what sort of makes it fun, because it just doesn't seem. It seems so out of the world that to me it almost doesn't seem real.
Yeah,
And it almost seems like a joke at times because of amount of things are going on.
yeah. But the thing to me is, right, like if social media like was a friend, like,
Yeah.
if I had a friend who was like social media, I would not be his friend anymore. like I'd get so sick and tired of hearing all these different things, all these like these mood switches and everything. It's like, mate, like the toll it takes on you is ridiculous.
I mean, social media was my friend that first of all, a very rich friend. So maybe I would be friends with them. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Like, it's, you know what? It's such a powerful tool, but it's a big price.
Yeah,
It's a massive price, actually.
yeah,
But actually, I was thinking about this as well. We come from a very similar generation. There's only like 2 years difference between us.
yeah, something
Right.
like that.
So we're in a generation where during the time, like in high school, that is where we were more exposed to social media, and social media developed more.
Yeah,
Whereas the generations that are sort of younger than us, they've grown up with this social media
yeah,
era,
for sure,
right?
yeah.
So they've been fully exposed to it from the get go. Do you think it's different for them? Because do you think for them it's nothing new, so they don't really get overwhelmed? It becomes a norm for them.
I think if it becomes known for them, that sucks. Like a life like that sucks, man. Honestly, no, but like obviously I'm not one to judge, and like obviously I can't say like
This guy is a generation below us. I'm just saying, come after him, not me.
cancel all of the fight.
Cancel all of the fight.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
cancel.
cancel.
Yeah, don't get started.
Yeah,
cancel
let's not do
culture.
that. Yeah. Let's get into
But
that.
like, do you know what? Like, there's so many different experiences you can get that's not relying on social media that they're not getting.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
the only experiences they're getting is what their friends are doing on social media or what they're like relatives or in that circle are doing on social media. And it's like, that's not really what life is. It's
But
like,
but look, here's the thing though. We can say that's not really life is, but we're basing it on our own experience.
yeah, but
Like we experience life differently to them.
it's like when our parents say like 60s was the best or like 70s was the best. You know, like old
Yeah.
people say that.
Yeah, yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, mate, like there's no internet, there's no nothing, there's no
Yeah.
COD, there's no, YouTube, whatever.
COD.
Like there's the fish, but there's no Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
obviously
nice.
each generation will always be like, yeah, these days are the best. But that's only
Yeah.
because we were having the best time of our lives during those moments.
Yeah.
And the best time of my lives were like not with social media. The best time of my lives are like when I'm so far away from social media that I'm just in the zone with the people in the area, in the atmosphere. That's the best time of my lives.
Okay, so would you then say, so you can say that was your best time, so you can confidently say, you know what, I don't like social media, and you feel sorry for those. But in their point of view, they're living in an era where this is their best time of their life.
Yeah, exactly.
And social media is a part of that as well.
Yeah. So that's why it's so hard to say like
Yeah.
it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, or it's good for me. It's so oh no, sorry, it's bad for me.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
for you. Right?
Yeah.
So I can't be like, oh, I'm not gonna let my kids be on social media. Because for me, I had a bad experience, but they could have a great experience,
Yeah.
They could become these crazy guys on social media and like do whatever they want to do, right? So
That you want them to become crazy
no,
guys and do what they want to do.
I mean, as in like they can become like crazy.
That doesn't sound like a great influence. You sound like a terrible father. All right.
I'm learning from the best, the director. So they could become like really really big on social media,
Yeah.
and that could benefit them, whereas it's
Okay.
not benefiting me,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean from that sense.
But this is going to sound strange as well, but coming away from that sort of generational, thing or gap,
Yeah.
should we call it? I think there are certain traits that each generation gathers or like comes. For example, our generation, I feel like because we grew up with social media not being that big,
Yeah.
but as soon as we became sort of younger teenagers, it just all of a sudden exploded.
Yeah.
Like YouTube became massive, Vine came in, then went.
Yeah,
Came and then went straight away.
It came really quick and left us
It
quick.
just left just quick.
Yeah.
7-second videos. There
Yeah,
you go.
literally.
And then, TikTok grows as well. And I feel like we then have the element of flexibility. I feel like we as a generation are more flexible
Yeah.
or adaptive than others. Whereas I feel like the generation now that's grown up with social media,
Yeah.
I think one thing they have is a short attention span.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you
feel
pulled
like,
out the Americans last time.
well, I did, yeah. And you know what? Because Americans, they are the ones who really dictate which social media platform becomes big
Yeah.
in the
to
rest
be
of
honest,
the
yeah.
world.
They have like a big power. in
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So naturally, they're gonna have the trait even more so than other
Yeah,
countries.
for sure.
Like for example, TikTok is made for people with short attention span.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I'm guilty of this sometimes as well. Like
Yeah.
if I see a video, if it doesn't grab my attention in the first 30 seconds, unlike this podcast, I'm
Unlike-
joking.
Unlike the WATTPOD TikTok account, which you can follow, in all the links below.
That's right. But you know what? The app's going to come out and that's going to change your life as
Yeah,
well. Just
exactly.
I have to plug that in. Come on.
Yeah, we
Let's-
have to.
we're not getting paid for it, so we may as well plug
It's under our contract.
it. Which, okay.
But,
Yeah, it's just our lives are on the line, not really any payments.
Yeah,
But anyways, they have the short attention span, so that's one thing they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's coming on with songs as well. Like it just, don't you feel like certain generations have that gap, and don't you think that the social media generation now has that short attention span more than ever than any other generation before?
I think it always depends on people, but it's like the shorter the video, the more easier it is to watch.
Yeah,
Like even we know that from our podcast and all the stuff we're doing. The shorter a clip is, the more people watch it, and it's just because it's
convenience.
Like, it's quick.
yeah,
Social media is all about being quick and to the point.
Yeah.
That's the whole basis of social media.
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram posts is to the point, quick, short caption, main picture. That's it. Like, go, move on in life. That's what social media is. So I feel like that
Okay.
trait is just part of social media.
but it's not just coming to social media; it's coming to other avenues as well. For example, movies are shorter than they ever used to be. Songs, like the really popular songs.
Songs are really short.
They're
now.
really, really short. And you know what? Even like, albums, they don't exist anymore. It's just a bunch of short songs on a
Yeah.
playlist that get replayed on TikTok. And then you make money for it. You know what I mean?
Literally. But it's like, that's what it is now, right? You just want to get to the point.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm listening to the song, I want to get to the main bit. Like, get out of it with your weird verses, right?
It's-
just get to
yeah.
the main bit, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was speaking to a friend of mine who said that he nowadays, because he's really on social media. He's
Yeah.
actually older than me, but he's on social media.
Mm.
And he said on his phone, he will listen to a song, and within the first 10 seconds, he will decide whether he wants to skip or he wants to save that song.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you imagine that?
I do the same. Like, like I go every week, Spotify,
Yeah.
UK charts. I'm like, all right, these are all the new songs. Click on them. Skip 30 seconds in. Doesn't sound good. Skip. Next song, next song, next song. That's what I do.
See, I can't do that. For me to save a song, it has to be a good song.
Yeah.
Like, I have to repeat. This is gonna sound weird, but I have to be able to re-listen to it a bunch of times before I go, you know what, I'll save it, and I'll always give a song a chance as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't imagine that.
But sometimes for me, it's like, I know we're going off course from the social media thing, but like for songs, it's like, if the artist is good, like I'll always put him on my playlist. Like Atif Aslam, he's on my playlist immediately.
Wow.
Like, anytime he makes a song, he's on it. If there's like, Arjit Singh, if there's like, I don't know, Sidhu Moosewala, they're all immediately just onto my playlist. But that's the
It's
thing,
not
like
my
I
kind of
just like
songs,
the
but okay.
artist more than the songs.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that you don't care about music. You care about just the person.
Yes.
I like your confidence. I will roll with it. I respect that. You know what? I respect that because you're very honest.
I could have gone no and said something
of
completely
course.
different, but
you
no,
just said, I respect that.
I'm sticking to my Atif Aslam, bro.
Okay, you know what? You stick to that. No judgments there. But you know what? You're right in a certain sense, right? Because it's quicker as well if you think about it. Because you like this artist, so rather than waste time listening to the song, you'd rather just save it, which comes down to
The thing is, like, I know an Atif Aslam song bangs, bro. Like, his song bang every time, right? I'm just being a fanboy at this point.
Yeah,
right?
you are a bit.
I'm getting dodgy eyes from off camera as well. But like,
you're getting
honestly,
dodgy eyes
like,
off me, mate.
It's I always get dodgy eyes from you. But like, you're making me lose track of my sentence.
It's okay, bro. Like, just carry on, man. There's no judgment here.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, short attention span or not, like that's what I go for. Just the artist. That's it.
Okay, you really have to emphasize that point. But okay,
Yeah.
no, look, I think that what you have done there and described is exactly the way generation thinks as well.
Probably,
And I think you have that trait regardless, but I think that trait is more common nowadays, more than ever.
For sure.
And yeah, I just think look, I'll be honest with you, I don't blame them either, because if I grew up in this era now, I would be on social media, bro. And if, like you said, there's 100 miles per hour different things coming in at once, right? So to be able to keep up, you have to have like now I'm gone. All right, this thing, I'm not interested. You have to be able to do that.
You have to have that short attention span.
Otherwise you can't keep up with it.
I don't even think it's a short attention span. It's just being able to analyze like content so quickly that you know if it's going to be good or bad. That's what it is. You've looked at so much content that like you can look at a piece of content and be like, that's trash. Because you've looked at so much.
So what you're saying is they have a superpower that we just don't really have.
Not really a superpower, but it's just something you learn,
hack
right?
in and they can just
like if you read a lot of books, you can read a book really quickly.
Yes, that's true.
So like, or if you do something a lot, you can do it quickly. If you look at lots and lots of different content all day on social media, you're able to look at something just from the cover art, thumbnail. Like that's why YouTube thumbnails are such a big thing.
Yeah,
if a thumbnail looks so good, all right, that's good content.
But why do you think then in that era, in this space, podcasts have become so popular? Because podcasts is completely the opposite.
Do you know what? I think podcasts have only become popular because of lockdown. And lockdown brought down this slow, like, you know how everyone's always been like in this race? And then lockdown brings like this slow pace life now. Where, like, you can look at social media all week, but like you're not doing anything. No one's got new stuff going on social media. So you're like, all right, let me try different avenues. And then you listen to podcasts, you start like going into different things.
Okay.
So social media has probably boosted podcasts in that sense as well.
But they boosted it, but podcasts were already starting to get popular. Like Joe Rogan was hugely popular. Do you think maybe it's actually
But that's the thing, right? So Joe Rogan was getting popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say podcasts in general, but getting popular.
Okay.
I would say individuals. So like Logan Paul, his podcast was getting popular.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's was getting popular.
Yeah.
Individuals were getting popular, but not the whole scene or the whole genre. I think with the slowdown in life and like the lockdowns and stuff like that, and I feel like there's also been a shift in social media as well in lockdown.
In what sense?
In the sense that like not everything, because you know how like daily everyone's posting, like you're just absorbing all this content. But now not everyone's posting.
Yeah.
So now you're now you're actually seeing like different quality content on social media.
Okay.
So it's not the same like, you would have like 10 really basic posts, but now you have like one good post, and then the next one's like a really good post again.
I actually know exactly where you're coming from. It's like it's now less about quantity; it's about quality of posts.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's actually because I think people make their minds up a lot quicker now. So if they go into a page or a post and they see something they like, they'll just click follow.
Yeah.
Whereas if they see something they don't like, they're probably going to ignore it again.
Yeah.
Again, you might get a chance, but they probably want to again grab attention as quickly as possible, right?
And I think a lot of people have understood the point of quality over quantity. Because even now, like if an Instagram page is posting a lot on my feed, I unfollow them.
Really?
Yeah, like if there's loads and loads of them, I'm like, no,
Okay,
to
a degree. I know
yeah,
where you come
obviously
from.
not.
Yeah.
But like if it's quality and it's a lot, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
it's quality, right? Like I want to look at it. But if it's like just rubbish, I'm like, nah, man, just get out of it.
You know what's interesting? Because the type of memes page I follow, because this is why I follow it, I feel like I have been very lucky in my selection.
Oh, really?
Because certain meme pages, they have the same meme. So you
Yeah.
see the same meme again and again. And it's really jarring when it used to happen because I'm like, I've already seen this.
Yeah.
Like, give me some good content. But now I'm seeing memes from different like social media spaces.
Okay.
And because of that, I see good quality
Yeah.
post on my feed. So if I have a really good balance where I can send this one to this guy, send this one to this person because they like this meme, they like that meme.
Yeah.
And that's why I social media. But I suppose then I'm guilty of that same thing, right?
Yeah.
Short attention span.
Short attention span, and you're just like, that's good quality, send it. That's not good quality, let's leave it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a quite left field as well. But do you think that's why? Do you feel that's why combat sports have become so popular as well? Because yes, let me retract that. So initially, combat sports like boxing have been popular for a long time, but
Yeah.
from like older generations, that makes sense. From
Yeah.
like late 20s to 30s, that's where people really used to watch it.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, a lot younger people are starting getting into it.
But I think that's mainly because of the social media influences.
Do you think is that a result of that? Because
100%.
okay,
I would not care about Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, all these guys if I didn't watch KSI v Joe Weller.
okay,
Hand on heart, I can say that. Like, I would not care. And I know a bunch of 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds would probably be the same.
yeah, of course. I mean,
And then they because look, like they watch that, and then those influencers keep talking about it, and it builds up, right? So it went from KSI Joe Weller to KSI Logan, and then Jake Paul came in
yeah.
it. All these influencers are now doing it, and it's like bringing a bit like a rise to the scene.
Okay.
And that's probably why a lot of people are interested in boxing and UFC.
Well, here's the thing. With UFC, that was already rising before then, heavily.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the growth of UFC from 2010 to 2020, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And social media was no part of it until Jake Paul started calling out these MMA fighters.
Yeah.
It's only then but UFC was already growing incredible before then.
Yeah.
It was already mainstream
100%.
sport. Maybe not so much in the UK, but in America, like, honestly, like, UFC was growing at such a rate where it was starting to people are predicting that within about 10 to 20 years it could even overtake boxing.
The thing
Boxing
is,
been around
right,
for decades.
with UFC, I get what you mean with the UK not being up to it.
Yeah.
Because like a few years back, I only knew one guy who was into MMA boxing and like basically MMA and boxing. And now like all these people are in it. They're all experts and whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, like I genuinely think social media made that happen.
And that's 100% I agree with you, because that's where that's where I was going towards as well.
Yeah.
Because social media. Okay, so when I'm going, I'll put it this way. Let's say you're going through a highlight reel or just like on your deep surf on Instagram,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you get the random sport one that comes up, right? If a football skill comes, you're gonna be like, oh, all right, that's great. A basketball dunk, me, but like, that's really nice. That dunk was really cool. But as soon as you see a knockout,
Yeah.
that just grabs your attention straight away, and you have to like resend it to other people.
I feel like combat sport is something like that can attract anyone if it's put in front of them.
Yeah, and it's short, but that's what I mean. It's short. Like you don't
need to watch like 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what, with football, you have to understand the game to understand when someone does something really cool.
Yeah.
Right. And a dunk is really athletic as well, but even that you have to have an element of knowing how hard it is to a degree. With a knockout, it's a knockout. It's gonna look crazy in any regard.
And the thing is, most people not have experience but know about fighting. If it's indirect or direct, right? Like they've been in fights, or they've seen fights, they've heard of fights, or they've been told stories about fights, right? Everyone has some direct or indirect like relationship with it. So 5-second clip of someone getting knocked out, that would attract anyone.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where MMA more so, because the knockouts tend to be. But with boxing, yes, don't get me wrong, there are some brutal knockouts.
Yeah.
Just look at Deontay Wilder's highlight reel.
Yeah, literally.
But in MMA, it's more likely you could have a crazy knockout because of there's not much guards on here. The referee will sort of let the people go until they can't fight anymore.
Do you know why I think MMA MMA is much better on social media than boxing?
Yeah.
Is because boxing still requires you to understand technique.
Yeah,
You can't look at a clip
right.
and just see someone throw a punch and then get knocked out.
Mm.
Whereas MMA, there's so many different techniques going on, and a lot of them you can understand quite easily just from watching.
Yeah.
Whereas boxing is like, I'm not saying it's more technical, it's a better art or whatever. I'm just saying for someone who doesn't understand the sport completely, looking at an MMA clip and then a boxing clip, they'll go for an MMA clip a bit more.
I mean, if you look at the best knockouts in boxing and you compare it with, let's say, one knockout, like I'm not sure if you know about Masvidal's knee. There's a fight called Jorge Masvidal, and he literally was on the corner. It was against Ben Askren, actually.
Oh, okay.
So you probably know him very well.
Chubby man, yes.
Yeah, so this is pretty much what ended his career, many say. But Game Bread, literally...
I thought Jake Paul ended his career.
No, Jake Paul, his career was already ended. No, but it's funny you mentioned that, because he mentioned he said he wanted to further put him down.
Yeah.
But his career pretty much ended after a man on the other side of the cage ran up 100 miles per hour and just kneed him in the face, and he was gone. Seeing that was absolutely brutal, and that again catered towards look. I saw that on Instagram and I was like, "Yo, what is this?"
Yeah.
Retweet, resend, do what I can, share.
That you can say there's technique with the placement of the knee, but it's very easy to understand what he did.
It's very easy. He just ran at full speed and just knocked.
Whereas if you just watch boxing, even if you watch Anthony Joshua, one of those highly talked about boxers in the UK, other than Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
If you watch this knockouts, it's not as easy to understand what he's doing than it is to just watch someone run up and knee someone in the face.
No, there's something quite primitive about it, which makes it really easy to understand, right? I suppose maybe social media highlights what we as humans really are, because again, if there's a social media, okay, this is an example. Let's say there's a quote, right?
Yeah.
And let's say this quote is a little bit harder to understand, but it's an amazing quote. It makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
Changes your life, whatever.
Okay.
I guarantee you that quote will not be as viral as that one simple joke about, I don't know, a pillow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just easy to understand. You'd be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, funny. Let me retweet that.
I think simplicity is heavily underrated on social media. The most simple things just go viral like crazy.
I think it's criminally. So what's the word I'm looking for? It's infamous for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just don't like it, because you know what it is. Oh, this is gonna. I don't know if this get me in trouble from some people. Actually, I don't know anyone who does these cool memes. So I don't know why I'm saying that. But those memes of those pages where someone makes a joke about I don't know, their Starbucks coffee drink.
Yeah.
Why is that popular? I don't understand.
It's probably because you don't go Starbucks.
No, but it's not funny. It's
but that's because you don't go Starbucks.
I hate paper straws. It's okay, you know what I mean? Stupid stuff
I
like that.
hate paper straws, but
I mean, when it goes viral, you're okay, I get it. I hate paper, but why is this famous? I don't care about your life like that, on a real. But I feel like I'm so different in that regard. I just, when it's a simple joke, it frustrates me.
It just depends on the person's I don't know, interests and stuff on social media. There's so many different interests and avenues and things get in front of you. That's why you think certain people why are they famous? What's the point? But then you have to realize that there's millions of other people with that same mindset.
Yes, but that's what frustrates me is why are there millions of people with a mindset that find that funny? That's what I don't understand. It's why are you doing this? Why is this going on? Those jokes where they're like, oh my god, I'm so silly. I did this and I did that and I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah, if
you're
an
embarrassing moment, who cares?
But if you're embarrassed, you wouldn't put it on social media.
Yeah, it's pretty fake.
Yeah, obviously.
If you're actually embarrassed, but
unlike me, who got robbed by a monkey. Anyway.
Yeah, Willidify, find out right there. Yeah.
But no, I mean, directing this whole talks differently. I'd say I do have to give social media props because it's helped me in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I used to be hella introverted, and doing content for YouTube and uploading on Instagram, stuff like that has made me a bit more open, a bit more extroverted, I guess. And it's actually helped me be a bit more comfortable with talking to people and things like that. Not that I think people are cameras. I'm not sitting here imagining you as a camera, but like,
Maybe
like
you do.
it's helped me because I've spoken so much to a camera and stuff like that. That it's helped me to just
Build that up and
build that
just
up and then just apply that same concept.
Yeah.
Of just talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, practice is practice in any form,
Yeah.
right? And look, I think social media, as we come back around, it doesn't add anything new. It just it highlights, but it highlights everything, which is the way it should be. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
like the whole monetization, like monitoring and stuff like that. I get people when they say that, look, we don't really want that because that defeats the purpose of social media, and I get it. I don't really disagree or agree, but I get it. And look, with social media, you're gonna get some amazing stuff. Like there are some amazing things that happen on social media.
Hella good stuff there.
But at the same time, you're gonna get some stupid things.
You can get stupid things, you can get bad things, and the problem is the bad and stupid things are highlighted the most.
Yeah, because people in general, they prefer to talk about negative things in the sense that, this is going to sound weird, but I did have this conversation with a friend of mine, and he said people would rather tune in to see someone fail than to actually see them succeed. Because, I mean, Floyd Mayweather made a career out of it, right? Jake Paul's doing it right now.
Yeah.
These guys are building a career where you want to watch them fail.
I feel like that concept of like not wanting to see the truth or the positiveness has also come from like maybe newspapers and like news agencies. Because how many times do you see like BBC News reporting on something like a bit truthful? Or maybe BBC News is probably not a good option. Like The Sun, the Daily Mail, things like that, right? Where they go more on the negatives than they go on the positives.
Because it sells, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what sells is also what gets clicks, likes, interactions, and everything, and that's what social media is just based off of.
Again, it highlights the amazing side of humanity, but also the ugly sides. Unfortunately, people just like negative stuff. Like, for example, if we told a story about, I don't know, us succeeding in something, like we discovered a new, I don't know, island, and it had like a bunch of gold in it or oil, and all of a sudden we're billionaires. People are going to be interested. Yeah. They're also going to be like, oh, whatever, like, I don't really care. But let's say we told a story about how you got robbed by a monkey. Yeah. And I got robbed by, I don't know, a dolphin.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, we framed someone on something doing horrible or whatever. Like anything negative or down like that.
We got caught, and now we actually ended up being criminal, crazy lords of the underworld. I don't know. I'm just rambling on. But you get what I mean? Like, if you... 100%. People would rather tune into that, which is why people also love, backbiting and spreading rumors. Exactly. It's the way it works, man.
But my question then is like, if there's one thing you can change about social media, what would you change?
You know why that's tough? Because the thing that you would want to change is the thing that you also love about it. Like, if you can't really ask that question, because social media is humanity. So what you're saying is, what would you change about humanity? What would you keep the same? But again, it comes down to free will in a sense, right? You can't change that. You can't take that away,
because you can't even control like content wise and things like that, because that
it's
defeats
from people.
Purpose.
Yeah. Social. 100%. You're right. So you can't. I just don't think you can change it. The only thing I would change maybe is have some sort of. I feel like social media is dangerous in the sense that if you're a certain age, they try to, right, let's say I'm a kid. Yeah. I'm 13 years old and I want to create an Instagram profile or something. And I'm put my fake age of being 21. I could easily do that. There's nothing really stopping me. 100%. I feel like if that could be controlled, it would be better. If they could find a way to make more restrictions on age and make that more accurate, that's probably a way of improving it.
But then you can't also do that, because the whole point of social media is to like be anonymous, do things anonymously. Everything.
Exactly. So again, you can't do that either, which is tough.
Like even the people who say like, oh yeah, like, you know how like currently like people are racist and stuff on social media. So people are saying, people should be held accountable.
Nah.
You can't, how can you hold someone accountable? Obviously, people should be accountable for what they say and what they do. But you can't bring that into social media, because that will defeat the whole purpose of the platform.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, it's just the way the world is at the moment. Yeah. There is racism. There's always going to be
100%.
No matter what Kamala Harris says about America, apparently racism doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what America she saw last year.
Yeah. But racism is always going to be there. And as long as there's people, there's going to be racism. So social media naturally is going to have racism in it. I mean, it's kind of weird that I feel like we're from a minority, so we can say that more comfortably. Like, I don't know, like,
I don't know.
I feel like I can say, yeah, there's racist people. Like, I accept that.
I
feel
think
like
anyone can say there's racist people. Just
Well,
depends. If you're a racist, you're not gonna say it.
that's true. Well, yeah, actually, is interesting fact with social media. I would rather know who is racist and who isn't, because if you're a closet racist, then I wouldn't want to be friends with you because you might do something to harm me. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I get what you mean by it. I feel like that's just. I don't know. I know I gave you like one change that you would like, but that's like a wild change. Like
no, I wouldn't change. I'm not saying I would change to social media. I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Like, in a way, like I'd rather not have anonymous stuff going on.
I see what you mean.
If you're a certain way, not in a way that I don't want to come to your house and do anything, but I'd rather just avoid you because I know that, look, I'll rather make friends with someone else or speak to them because me and you're not going to share the same ideas. Or if I know you have differing opinions, maybe we could have a discussion about that. Like, I'd rather know than not know.
Then
Does
not
that
know.
make sense?
I get what you mean. Yeah. That's a tough one, though. Like, I don't know if I would want to know who's racist and who isn't.
I mean, why wouldn't you, though? Like,
It just depress me, man.
well, you just want closet racist, like, all over
Mate,
you.
like, do you know what? Like, if you put on a smile and just say nice things to me, I don't care. Like,
really?
yeah, like if you say something behind my back, like it's behind my back, I would. That's it.
Do you know what it is? I would rather know about people's ugly truths because I'm not. I'm okay. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a crazy, like, judgmental person.
Yeah.
But if you have a difference, I'd respect your difference, and I would walk away.
So you're like,
in general.
Yeah. So you're one of the people who's like, be upfront, so I can like be upfront.
Yeah, because I like being upfront as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'd rather have that because if we tend to get along, then
Yeah.
it's gonna be genuine friendship and it's
Yeah.
gonna be cool. If we don't, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'd rather just go my way. You go. Well, like, why do we have to pretend?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
know what I
But
mean?
for me, it's like I don't necessarily care if the person's upfront or not.
Right. Just nice
To me,
things.
it's like if I can have a conversation with them, if I can enjoy my time with them, they could be like, the most closet racist person ever.
Yeah.
But if I'm enjoying my time, if I can talk to them, if they can help me and I can help them, to me it doesn't matter.
No, the element that is true. Like, if I difference in an opinion on something, doesn't mean I'm going to be like, I don't want to speak.
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Like, I think that's cool. Like, I think everyone has different.
But it's
opinions,
like one of those things. Like like people want to know like if they've been lied to by certain people, and then they
course,
base
like,
their judgments from that. But to me, it's like
it's not just judgment. It's I rather know you, the character.
Yeah.
Because you know what, if you reveal your character to me, it means that it means I respect you because you're being so upfront and honest with me that I just have to respect that. And if you're not that I don't respect you, but you don't have that same energy. Like, I love people who are just very like upfront and honest.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're not wasting my time. So I feel like you respect me almost,
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's like, I know I'm upfront. I know I'm honest in most situations. There are some situations, obviously, you do white lies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know I'm upfront. I know I'm always me. So, like, for me, it's like, if you don't respect me, I respect myself enough to not care about your opinion.
Yeah, no, of course.
To me, it's like,
you're right.
I get your point, and I get the point that, like, it's not something you care about so much that will affect you, but, like, you'd like to know. To me, it's like, even if they told me, I wouldn't, like, I don't want to know. Like, I really couldn't care less.
I'll respect someone who tells me. I'll respect it, yeah. Because
I'd rather
yeah, I'll respect it.
I just guess, like, if I'm up so say there's a closet racist, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even like saying that, but say there's someone who thinks that way or is like that or is not upfront. Let's just say that is not upfront, right? If I'm upfront enough with them, they'll be upfront with me.
There's no guarantee with that.
There's no guarantee, but sooner or later it will come, or there'll be a point where I realize, okay, maybe they weren't, those type of people.
But don't you think when you get to that point where it comes to let's say so you're friends with closet racist and you find that later on, don't you feel like you've wasted time?
No,
really,
no.
I'd feel like I wasted my time because
I've got friends
that could be a deal breaker. But I'm saying, look, if that is a deal breaker for you, I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
But they're a racist.
Yeah.
You don't want to be friends with a racist, and then you find out they're a closet racist after months and months. Then wouldn't you feel like you've wasted that time? Because you could have, if you known from
depends
the get-go,
what my
you could have been like, I'm gone.
But it depends what my time was. If my time wasn't
Time's time.
No, but
You never get it back.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna like cry over every single moment and stuff like that.
No, but if you don't monitor it, you could end up wasting time. You never know.
No, but I get what you mean. But like for me, it's like I haven't. I'm only 21, right? I haven't lived long enough to waste time with certain people and then be
Yes,
like,
but
okay,
by the time you get to a certain age,
yeah, obviously, but at a certain age, I'll realize, right? But for right now, for me, it's like, like I've spent hours and hours of time with certain friends who are not friends now, and blah blah blah. And I
Yeah.
don't look back and be like, why was I their friend? I'm just like, I enjoyed the times then.
yeah.
Maybe we're not on the same line now, but I enjoyed those times, and I always like remember those times.
But you know what that helped build you? Why that helped you is because it built you, right? It
Yeah.
made you who you are now, so you can appreciate.
So I'm not gonna be like, so even if I am friends with someone who's not upfront,
Yeah.
and then later on they're upfront, and I'm like, all right, I don't vibe with this, I'm not on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna treasure and respect the time we spent together,
Okay.
rather than be like, mate, I wasted my time. Why did I waste my time on this guy? Like instead of that, I'll be like, right, like I treasure these times. I'm like, these times were good times, and I'll keep that
Yeah.
with me, and I'll just
Yeah.
move on.
Do you know what? I think there's an element of this as well. I think with me, I appreciate the quote unquote friends who aren't anymore like here,
Yeah.
because they've almost been filtered out for the friends that I have now, who
Yeah.
are genuine friends, right?
100%. Yeah.
But there's also an element of sometimes I look at my friends now and I'm like, man, like I wish I was friends with you earlier as well, because we could have.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then it's like, it's always time and place and fate, right?
That's true
what
as
it
well.
is.
Yeah, it's true as well. 100%.
You're never gonna. Hindsight is the best thing to look at, right?
That's true. Yeah,
But
you're right.
hindsight,
Yeah.
everyone loves looking at like, oh yeah, let me look at this. It was probably the best idea. But to be honest, like to me, it doesn't really matter too much.
Okay. So guys, sorry about that. If you just clocked in, I know what I'm saying. Just clocked in. We're gonna cut the other part out anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, the camera basically died. So we're gonna go back in the edit room and see where we got it from.
Yeah, we're gonna see where we can use the cameras.
Imagine
and
it's
stuff
cut
like
off closet races and that's it.
that. Imagine.
They think one of us is a closet racist. Actually, here's the game. Which one of us do you think is a closet racist?
Which one do you reckon over here is nah, that's not.
Yeah, let's not do that.
What were we talking about before this? Anyway, before the camera died.
People, so friendships and
yes, like treasure and friendships. Yeah.
yeah, time.
But yeah, you know how you said like, oh, I wish I met these people before. But it's like, yeah, you think that in hindsight. That's what I was saying. Like hindsight
yeah.
is the best thing. Everything in hindsight is nice. But then when you actually think about it, it's like maybe they entered your life
At the right time.
At the right time.
That's what
At
I'm
the
saying,
most
yeah.
perfect time. And those people that left at the best time.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who like now like absolutely like love and adore. But I feel like if my mindset, no, I'm joking. Thank you very much for coming to my life, Solidify. But I feel like I get along with them now, and I'm able to help them because of where I am mentally. I feel like if this was me like 4 or 5 years ago, I would not be able to help them at all. I feel like they wouldn't even like me.
100%.
Whereas now, like I treasure them, and I can't imagine my life without them. You know?
Yeah. I'm pretty much the same. I feel like from those experiences, I feel like I matured much quicker.
Yeah.
Like I lost a lot of friends, and I gained a lot of friends, and then lost a lot of friends. So like I've like matured really quickly in that sense of like trusting people, talking to people, things like that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like it's better for me now at like the age of 21 to know who are the right people for me and who aren't the right people for me.
Yeah.
And that
that's true.
actually brings it full circle back to social media, because I joined social media fully like age 15. So like from the age of 15, I've been on it every day, creating content. Like I'm not the one who just looks at content. I create content, make sure the content's working. And like the drainage that causes on me personally, from my experience of doing that stuff, is what makes me go, it's not for me. Right? Whereas from your side, I don't think it's like a lot of content making or stuff like. It's like just browsing, searching, which it would be for most people. But for me, it's like creating that content. People say don't look at numbers, don't look at all these things. You gotta look at it. It's always in there in your face, and it's just like something you can't get rid of. Even people who have basic accounts, they look at their likes all the time. How many likes did I get today? How many likes did I get tomorrow? How many likes did I get in a week? Everyone's looking at that, and it's just those type of things are something that I just don't want anymore.
No, where you come from? Because I'm starting to realize that a little bit now. Like now that I'm dove into space, and I suppose it hasn't really kicked in because you've been dealing with that pretty much for a long time now.
Yeah.
So it's like you're constantly
Like 6 years.
I suppose you know what? It's almost like you're a stockbroker almost. You're looking at the stock market constantly.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, oh, well, I can probably do this, and then after
Yeah.
like 10 years, or
The thing with me is like,
going on.
yeah, the thing with me is like when I was 15, like the whole trend, the whole system was different.
Mm.
And in those 6 years, it's changed every single few months, few weeks, few days, right? And I've seen so many different trends, patterns, and information, advice, things you should do, things you shouldn't do. That's like, to me now, I'm like, if I could just like, the thing I like most is this, making like YouTube videos or live
Yeah.
streams.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I could do that without having to use social media, I would love to.
But you have to.
But you have to use
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
because you're not in a position where you can be like, I'm not using it,
Yeah.
because you need it to build yourself.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, but again, like social media, the reason why we can do this
Yeah.
is also because of social media. So, remember, you said you've gained a lot of confidence. You're no longer as introverted as before.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, that's the gift, but then the curse is
It's
you're
the
dealing with.
love-hate relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah.
I'm at a stage now. I'm like, thank you. You know how you said, up from people, I wasted my time.
Yeah.
I'm now like leaving that. Like social media is upfront with me now.
Okay.
This is what I am, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Okay.
But I'm treasuring all those things that social media has taught me.
Okay. I
Right.
see.
So I'm like, thank you for all this stuff, but like now let's like, peace out, bro.
I get your comment. And to be honest with you, I think dealing with that is a lot harder than people think it is. Because I know this might be a little bit off topic, but I don't know if you watched The Last Dance by
Nah.
okay, there's one particular part I'm referencing. I'm not going to talk about it, by the way. I'm just referencing one part.
Okay.
But there's a player called Dennis Rodman. It's very controversial. But there's literally one part where he's in the gym and the cameraman goes to him and he's just talking.
Yeah.
And he goes, look, we don't get paid for basketball. He goes, basketball is easy. Like, we go out there, we play our game. It's fun. That's what he
Yeah.
likes. We like the podcast scene. That's
Yeah.
us. He goes, what we get paid for is all of this. And then he, BS basically.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said all these cameras, he's talking to a camera,
Yeah,
ironically,
yeah.
with all of this attention. So that's what we get paid for. And because you would want to deal with this, he said,
Yeah.
if we could not get paid and this was gone, play basketball for free, they said they would happily do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's also similar here now as well. Like,
Yeah.
if you could find a way to podcast, but without social media,
Yeah.
and not like earn crazy money, just probably earn enough to do the podcast.
Yeah.
That'll probably be a dream scenario, right?
Yeah. For me, a dream scenario is like to be able to do my like YouTube, this podcast,
But
and
self-funding.
like self-funded.
Yeah, yeah.
Like any money I put in is like repaid.
Yes, exactly.
But like that's like a dream scenario. I'm not here to be like some get rich quick scheme, right? Like if I want to do that, I would have done that 6 years ago.
I'm joking.
If I want to do that, I would have done that 6 years ago. Jumped on
Yeah.
the bandwagon like everyone.
Yeah.
Right? I'm here to like, I like creating specific content and I like doing specific content, which is why I'm still here, and which is why I haven't left.
Do you respect people though who can just like, you know what, I just want to make money, so I'm going to do whatever I can to do that, and they can like.
You have to respect anyone who wants to make money.
No, not just that. I mean, the way, especially on social media, the way they're able to just jump on trends, master them, and just because it
Do you know
seems
what?
like they're working like crazy. Like Mr.
The thing
Beast,
is,
for
the thing is
example.
like people look at like Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
Dream, like there's new people nowadays like Tommy in it, things like that, right? And they're like, oh look, they're like doing all the cool stuff, the on trend stuff, and they're just getting paid for it. Even like Bryce Hall, all those TikTokers,
Yeah,
you can be like, what are they doing, But it's like the amount of work that happens behind the scenes, you can't discredit it.
yeah, of course.
Even I know I'm saying this, but even for like a cringy 10-second TikTok video, to do that, plan it, record it, right hashtags, the right SEO, the right everything,
Also
understanding the algorithms.
Also being born with the perfect jaw and the perfect hair. That's very, very important.
Like there's so many, no, obviously not, but there's so many factors that like you work on behind the scenes
Yeah,
that don't come up in like the main bit,
yeah,
that people don't respect and they forget.
yeah. That's true. That's 100% true.
So people are like,
Yeah.
oh, look, all these guys doing these trends, they're doing all these like outrageous things just to get money. It's like, okay, all right, sure, someone's copying Mr. Beast, but that's like
Hard to
black
do.
and white.
Yeah.
That's what works.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And it's hard
yeah.
to copy.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I reckon it's similar to sports. Like sports, someone could create a technique or
Yeah.
a tactic,
Yeah.
but then it's how you use it, which dictates on whether you.
It's like
win.
the Cruyff diamond formation.
Yeah,
Like that's like world famous, and it's just one guy who did it.
yeah,
And people try and manipulate it, try and use it in different ways.
yeah. It's not like when Barcelona when they went with the tiki taka style for
Yeah.
the first time ever. It's not that someone just went, "No, you just copied it from Cruyff, so it doesn't mean anything."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They look at Messi
exactly.
and be like, "Well, you know, using the Cruyff techniques, you're not really a great player." So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's true. It's true. I suppose with social media, because it's so new, that people have this sort of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because I think if social media continues,
Mm.
and it probably is, but you never know what happens with the world. It's fast.
Yeah.
Then in about 20, 30 years, we'd look back and we wouldn't have this sort of mindset of, oh, you're copying this person, or you're copying that person,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
I think it's just a way to like get under people's skins.
Yeah, well, you know, trolls will do whatever they can to
Yeah.
get. But actually, that's not necessarily true, because you got to think about it this way. People who are on social media or YouTube primarily are around about, what, the 13 to 16-year-old age range?
I'd say like 13 to 25, something like that.
But the ones who are the trolls who look at people like Mr. Beast, KSI, these sort of fan base.
Yeah, I guess you can say 13 to 16.
That's for
something
all
like
the
that.
age range, right?
Yeah.
So when you're that age, that's the way you think anyway. So you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, mate, you're just copying that. Oh, this is fake.
Yeah.
Everyone had that mindset at that age. It's just social media gives them a voice. That's it.
Yeah.
So in that sense, maybe it's not social media, it's just the age. So, no.
Maybe social media isn't the wrong thing, and we humans are the wrong ones.
Yeah, but teenagers have always been like that. We were like that. We go through it now. You like
Yeah.
walk into school and then a bunch of teenagers start talking. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, I if I went to a school now, I would not understand a single sentence these kids say.
But back then you got it, right? I got it. I didn't
back
necessarily
then we
take part
had
in it, but I got it.
But back then we had basic terminology, bruv, fam, in it.
You don't
Nowadays there's like, I don't know, weird ass terminology that's like way beyond my brain.
But back then we didn't think like that. Back
Yeah,
then
exactly.
it was, you know. So it's, you know what it is. I feel like
It's that gap.
it's
And
gap.
That gap will always be there.
It's a young person's game, basically.
Yeah.
It's like sports, but even younger. Yeah,
Yeah.
and less work.
It's for the young ones.
Yeah, I mean, I respect people like KSI actually going on with that as well, because he's always had that age range, and we've grown up with him. Like, we literally grew up as he went older.
100%.
But now he's captured another generation still, and he's getting them on board.
Exactly.
You got to respect people like that, you know?
Yeah. And that's just hard work.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
it
it's
is.
just hard work. Yeah,
And
that guy's
just-
crazy work ethic.
Yeah. And just understanding the platform. That's all you have to do.
And evolving as well. Like, imagine he kept on doing FIFA videos.
Yeah. I mean, he did that 6 months off, that break, that long break he did.
Yeah.
And that helped him. But yeah, social media is a weird one, I guess.
I think we probably covered enough for today, no?
Yeah, I think we went over time or something like that we set out.
Yeah.
But thank you for watching. If you were watching the YouTube video, like and subscribe. I know we just talked about
Please do.
interactions in social media, but
Please do.
we need them as well.
Yeah.
And those of you listening to the audio, thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to any of the video footage, there are clips on the YouTube channel. If you just want to listen to certain bits of the podcast where you want to see our facial reactions or what we do and stuff, you can do that, or you can listen to the whole podcast again. That's up to you.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
please do. Please have it on repeat constantly while you're driving, doing anything. Keep on listening to it and listen to it to the end. We see the average timings.
Probably shouldn't mention that.
No, but look, thank you very much for listening, guys. If you could please drop us a like and subscribe. I know we've already mentioned it, but it really
Follow
does
us on
help us out.
Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
Follow us home. Follow our cars.
Whoa, yo, cut.
I'm going to give Willifi's address right here, right now. Follow him.
All right, thank you. Bye.